Episode 222. We were both very comfortable last night. Letting her push him away, Stephen pretended to be a little sleepy. He opened his eyes with some annoyance.
What are you doing in the middle of the night? Would you let me sleep?
Miranda choked, but then she angrily kicked him and roared, "You are such a creep!" He looked innocent and shouted,
"What did I do? I was woken up by you while I was sleeping well. Why are you kicking me? I'm the one who is wronged."
"You shameless man, I think you did it on purpose. You know what you did."
"What did I do to you?"
"You hugged me!"
"Well, it's not like I have never done that before. And then?"
"And then..."
Her voice paused and she asked,
"How do you know there was something afterwards? You did it on purpose, right?"
"It's not that you haven't been hugged before. You wouldn't be so emotional if that is the case."
She stopped, not knowing what to say for a while. She won't be so emotional. Was that a compliment? "And then you..."
"You snuggled into my chest, too closely."
But in this case, she couldn't figure out how to say it. Pulling the blanket over, she turned around and decided not to pay him any attention. He secretly smiled, but he pretended to be annoyed.
"Ridiculous."
After about 10 minutes, Miranda also fell asleep. Stephen turned and snuck close, touching her waist. She whimpered quietly, turned over and continued to sleep. He saw her turn over and gently leaned over, reaching out and holding her in his arms gently. How he wanted to kiss her. But Stephen held back his desire. "Take it easy." Miranda didn't realize that she was in his arms and slept until dawn. When she woke up, she opened her eyes and saw his plaid pajamas. Wide-eyed, she pushed him away violently. She immediately sat up and lifted the blanket to check her body. So far, so good. Stephen was woken up and chuckled, but he quickly stopped himself, turned to get up, and threw a paper bag on the chair to her. She was shocked. Taking a look, she found out that it was an outfit. Everything she needed. She glanced at the bra and found that the size was actually exactly hers. "Where's this from?" And the size was quite right.
"I called someone to get it. The size should be okay. Try it on."
He yawned. Seeing her slightly surprised eyes, he explained.
"They asked me what your bra size is and I was no expert. So I gestured about yay big."
As he said that, he grabbed the air with 5 fingers arching. She suddenly blushed, picked up the pillow and threw it towards him, roaring, "Get lost!" Serena slept until the next morning. When she woke up, she felt a bit sick. Rushing to the toilet, she tried to vomit, but nothing came out. Jake followed her inside and patted her on the back, asking,
"Is it very uncomfortable?"
She waved her hand and quickly pushed him out. After the couple finished washing up, they were ready to go downstairs to have breakfast. When she came out of the door, she saw Miranda and Stephen coming in the hallway. When Miranda saw her and immediately turned around, covering her face. "Hey, Miranda!" Serena greeted her and looked at them teasingly. "So, you were together last night?" Miranda's face was wrinkled as she squeezed out a smile and turned around. "Hi, Serena, ma'am. Actually, Stephen came down to Kansas for the first time, so I came to give him a tour. He... A tour in the hotel? So that is the case." Serena pursed her lips and sneered. "Of course, isn't that right?" Miranda smiled and looked at Stephen, her look full of threats. He did not change his look and nodded.
"Well, last night we were both very comfortable.
She was embarrassed and forced a smile. "Mr. Wrong, be careful when you talk." Although she was smiling, her hand reached behind Stephen's and pinched him on the waist. He frowned. Looking innocent, he said with a smile, "What did I say wrong?" "I did know that Miss Young and Mr. Wrong are on such good terms." Jake walked out from inside, holding his wife's purse. Serena took her purse and put it over her shoulder. Grabbing Miranda's hand, she said, "Let's go and have breakfast together." Miranda could not wait to get away from Stephen, so she quickly followed Serena. However, the shoes she was wearing were those that Stephen had asked the hotel staff to get for her, so they were a bit small. Her toes hurt as she walked. Jake and Stephen followed the ladies. Stephen held his arms and said, "When are you going back to Austin?" "Tonight. Your supercar looks like a modified 4-seat. Jake had guessed what he wanted to do, curled his lips and asked, "One person?" "Miranda, 2. "Okay." Ahead of them, Serena had found them a table and sat down with Miranda. Looking at the menu, they were ready to order. Soon, tea was served, and the dishes were ordered. Jake started to talk to Miranda about the Mary Parker's birthday celebration and invited her to come. Miranda drank some tea and agreed without hesitation. "Sure, when?" "It's in 4 days," Jake said quietly and took his wife's teacup away. "Don't drink tea. Water is better." Serena pouted, but she could only take a cup of boiled water and watch them drink the sweet tea. "So soon?" Miranda felt a little surprised. "Yes." Dishes were served in succession. Jake dipped small waffle into maple syrup and put it on Serena's plate. "The water is hot. Be careful before you drink." "Oh." Serena took the waffle and ate. Stephen listened to them and didn't speak. His amber-colored eyes became darker, full of deep emotions. He seemed to carelessly get a waffle for himself. "They are going to Austin tonight. Let's go together, Miranda." "I'm afraid my mom won't let me go back so soon. I'll go back later and ask." Had Miranda mentioned it herself, her mother would not agree. However, if Stephen asked, then results would be different. Stephen knew that very well, but said nothing. He asked Jake, "Should we meet here in the afternoon?" "Sure." Jake took a bite out of his omelet. Serena finished the tea cake on her plate and used a fork to get a piece of the pork sausage. "We're going back to my father's later. Does Miranda live close? We could drop you off." "Okay." Miranda was overjoyed. "Thank you, Serena." Stephen frowned with discontent. But he said nothing after all.